So I bought a mic. I couldn't stand the noise coming from the traffic outside, so I bought this. But then I may have made a little like, you know how they say like how academic achievement is one thing and intelligence is a completely different thing? I'm a living example of that. Like, I bought a microphone, but I didn't buy a cable to connect it with the anything really and like activate it. That's basically the equivalent of like buying a computer monitor only and thinking you bought like the full machine, the full PC. So until the cable arrives, I have a microphone, a prop, that's what I have, and still my camera's audio. But I like this. I feel like I have my own stand-up show with this mic. Have you ever thought about what would you talk about if you had a Netflix special for your stand-up show performing at the Radio City Music Hall in New York? Because I personally think that I would just first have to go and like live in a foreign country for a few months and then just like talk about my experience, because I feel like cultural shock is like the safest choice for stand-up. I saw a video by Trin Lovell where she ranked every TV show she could remember, and I thought, let's do that, but let's not steal it completely, and let's connect it with this other idea I found, which is basically the entirety of Carson Runquist or Runkist channel. Every month he basically like gives a breakdown on everything he's watched that month. So today we're not only stealing other people's content, we are merging it. Also, we're doing TV shows only because that's the only thing I tracked, but I really like the idea of like tracking literally everything I watch. So I'm thinking about doing that starting next year, potentially for like a video idea, but also just like purely for my own personal enjoyment. And I feel like it's gonna be like a diary entry type of thing, like Dear Diary. Today I was depressed, so I listened to the entire Cry Baby album by Melanie Martinez, even though I promised myself I outgrew it and I'll leave that in high school. And then I also watched Donald Glover's Netflix special 4 times in one sitting. That was my Tuesday, by the way, but like for real. Okay, so the tiers that we have are yes, great, good, okay, no. And then we also have the 2020 tier because things are a bit blurry for some of these, so I'm not really sure if I saw some of these shows in 2020 or this year. And then here are all the shows that we're gonna be covering today. Okay, so I'm thinking I should start with Fleabag because I want people to like this video, so I'm just gonna start with something that's impossible to hate. This year I think I watched Fleabag for the first time, or maybe it was even last year. See, I just started and I'm already not sure, but I'm definitely not gonna put this show in the 2020 tier because I feel like this is basically the only show deserving of the S tier or the yes tier. So it's definitely going there. We all know it's a masterpiece. You don't need me to tell you that, so I'm not gonna waste time and tell you everything you already know. The Priest is fucking hot too, but we all knew that as well. I've been saying that ever since Sherlock. Then we have Behind Her Eyes. I really like this one, actually. This is just the kind of show I like. It's kind of like a slow burn show, and then like bam, there's like a big twist in the end, which I personally didn't expect. But it actually made so much sense that I was kind of mad that I didn't predict it. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this show. Maybe it's because it's like a mini series, so no one's really interested. But I personally love mini series because it's just so short that you don't have enough time to ruin the show with like excessive seasons. You just like tell the main story and you're done. Imagine if Riverdale was a mini series, because season 1 was like objectively not bad, you know? Damn. That would be tragic, honestly, because we would have nothing to laugh at now. My favorite butterfly effect is Cole Sprouse having a Tumblr and calling it a social experiment and basically taking a shit on everyone, and then years later getting punished for it by signing a contract to star in Riverdale. I don't know, so I'm thinking maybe even the yes or no. No, it's going in great, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll change it later. As much as I love watching these ranking videos, I hate making them because how should I know what deserves which tier? How should I know what's good and what's bad? Like, everything is good for me. Literally everything is good for me. Like, when it comes to TV shows, everything is okay. I have no standards. Then let's do this. Inocente, The Innocent. This one was good. Although I am very biased because this is a Spanish show and I just love the Spanish cinematography in general. They literally made a movie where people were chasing each other in the sewer and like swimming in shit. And I was just like, a masterpiece. An Oscar. Give them all the Oscars. A couple of scenes were quite disturbing, but honestly I loved it. Like, the story was good. It's a bit much at times, but it's like well thought out, you know? The twists are predictable, but like great. Overall, just a great show. Deserving of the great tier. Now I have Orphan Black. Now this is a show I watched like 5 years ago or something. It was my favorite show at the time. I swore by it. I recommended it to everyone, and then season 4 came out and I just never watched it. There's no reason why. I just never picked it up and I never watched it. until this year. I watched it from episode 1 again this year, and the first 2 or 3 seasons are still incredible. Like the second I played the first episode, I just remembered how good of a show this was. Like the main actress, what's her name? Tatiana Maslany, I think. She's one of the best actresses in general, honestly. Like her ability of transformation is enough of a reason to watch this show. She understands the assignment and even them some extra credit every time. The last 2 seasons were a bit weaker because it just started being too much, okay? It was just clear that they didn't want the show to end yet and they just wanted to pull more money out of it. But honestly, I can forgive them for the last season because the first one was so good that they just like cancel each other out. So I'll put this one in the great tier because like in general it's a great show. Okay, let's do The Office next. So one day I log on to Netflix. What do I see? The Office, just sitting there. So naturally I played it. That morning I was getting ready to go and I think get my college diploma. I think it was ready to pick up, which by the way, it's so ugly. Honestly, it's really not worth it. I was getting ready to go and catch a bus, and then I decided to play The Office while I was getting ready, and then I accidentally watched the entire first season of The Office that morning. Now either I take too long to get ready or the episodes are too short. Anyways, this is an S tier show. I don't care what anyone says. The Office is an S tier show. The stress relief episode is an S tier on its own. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care they kind of ruined it by the end. The Office is an S tier and it always will be. I love The Office, so sue me. Guess what? I have flaws.
What are they? Oh, I don't know.
I sing in a shower.
Sometimes I spend too much time volunteering.
I love The Office.
Occasionally I'll hit somebody with my car.
So sue me. I want to do Squid Game next. Here it is. Trigger warning, Squid Game. You know, sometimes I just hate people. Like, gatekeeping is good sometimes. You know the girl boss gaslight gatekeep? I always thought I was the gaslight just because I'm a Leo, and I feel like when you're born as a Leo, gaslight is something automatically added to your birth certificate. But maybe I'm the gatekeep. But I'm also definitely a girl boss too, so now we have a problem. The problem is I'm a full package. That's the problem. When I first watched Squid Game, I was in love. It was a Sunday. I remember that. It was a Sunday and I'm not used to, I remember it because I'm not used to having good things happen on a Sunday. Like Sundays are when my entire family is home and my entire family of 3 people, including me. I've been living with them for 24 years and I still haven't figured out the coexisting situation. I'm 24. Oh, I'm 23. I'm 23. I'm not 24. Okay, you know what that means? 2 more years till my quarter life crisis. I feel like it's gonna be good. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but I just feel it's gonna be good. Maybe I should start planning that. I think it's already starting to hit slowly but surely because I want to pierce my nose again for the 3rd time now. I've had my nose pierced since I was 18 and I never wanted anything more besides the one hoop that I had. And now this year, I suddenly want another hoop and a stud on the other side. And I also cut bangs, so clearly I'm going through something. So I watched Squid Game and I absolutely loved it. It had all of the elements I like in a show. It's got likable characters, there's funny lines, there's some mystery, thriller, psychological shit. There's blood, but it's not a horror show. It's just on the border between a horror and a thriller. It's just the kind of show I like. There's hot people too. And so I watched it, I loved it, then I watched it again. And then for the next week, I only watched Squid Game, and that was it. And then I go on Instagram and I like one singular Sabyog fan edit. My algorithm changes completely for worse. Everyone is watching it. Everyone is talking about it. Everyone is recreating it. Conspiracies, memes, TikToks, videos, you can't escape it. And I watch everything that is recommended to me because of this self-destructive trait that I have, that I like to ruin things for myself. Like I very often Google spoilers, more often than I would like to admit, Google spoilers for shows I just started watching and I ruined the finale for myself. And because I was just so heavily and overly exposed to Squid Game content, I now got sick of it. I'm still gonna put it in the S tier because I love it. I mean, I can't watch it, like I physically cannot play another episode without getting sick of it, but that doesn't mean I don't love it. It's kind of toxic relationship we have going on, but my natal chart does say that I'm prone to toxic relationships. So after Squid Game, just like everyone else, I watched Alice in Borderland next because I heard it's like Squid Game and that it's good, and it was good, but that's all it was. I don't know, I just didn't like the very end of the show. It felt a bit over the top, but like the rest of the show was great. So Maybe it's going in the good tier then. I mean, I'd recommend it to you. Like, it's really not a bad show. I just don't have anything else to say about it. Like, I watched it and I liked it, but I didn't play it for the second time. And like, shows that go in the first two tiers are shows that I play again after finishing it for the first time, because I just love them so much that I wasn't ready to like say goodbye to them yet. Next up, Money Heist, S tier. Immediately. I was surprised to see that a lot of people were over the show by the time the last part came out, which honestly, like, I do get it, because it just blew up suddenly, and it was basically the same thing happened with Squid Game. Like, everyone talked about it so much to the point that people got sick of it. That's like a curse of like mega popular shows. But I loved it till the very end. I just know that I will rewatch this show again in the future. I love all of the characters. I'm so emotionally attached to all of them. I'm so mad they killed half of them. At least they didn't kill my Serbian brother, because I would be suing them for xenophobia if they did. Also, the fact that they had to include Berlin in the flashback scenes because they knew he was the fan favorite and like the show can't go on without him is so concerning for all of us. Like, it's basically the same thing with Joe from You. Like, people like psychopaths in media. That needs to be investigated. What kind of a collective trauma is that? The first two seasons were a masterpiece. This second part was clearly done for more money, but I don't care. Take my money. Take all my money if you want. I don't care. You want the mic? Here, take it. I don't need it. Okay, let's do this one next. Capitani. I watched this show because I heard it was a show from Luxembourg. You can't tell me you wouldn't watch a show from Luxembourg. Come on. I've never seen a show from Luxembourg. Of course I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, but it was boring, so it's going in the no tier. I want to apologize to the entire country of Luxembourg. Love you, waves, but the show was boring. It was just another like murder mystery, but it just didn't have like the it, you know? Anyways, leave me a suggestion of better Luxembourg shows in the comments, because I don't want beef with the country of Luxembourg, and it's possible to have beef with this country because it's a small country. How many people live in Luxembourg? 632,000 people live in Luxembourg. See? It's a small country. I live in a town with a population of 8,000 people, so I don't know if I should be saying anything though. Oh my god, speaking of my town, we got a cinema this month. Listen to this. I mean, we had a cinema like 30 years ago and it started working again this month. What the fuck is that about? That's embarrassing, waves. My favorite thing to talk about with people who don't live here is how there's nothing to do out here. And how can I do that now when we have a cinema? Yes, we are a small town. Yes, it is boring out here. But let's just embrace it. Let's just own it. That's like the whole point of a small town. You are ruining my stories. Okay, now I want to do two shows at once. So we have The Stranger and we have Safe. Can I be honest? I have no idea which is which. I watched both of these shows, I know that, but I only have one plot in my head and I don't know which one of these shows has that plot. I think the plot that I have is the plot from Safe, because the guy from Dexter also stars in the plot in my head. But see, I thought that show was called The Stranger, so I googled The Stranger when I was searching for photos to add to the tier list, and then I see that the Dexter guy isn't in the show The Stranger, but he apparently played in this show called Safe. But see, I also remember the girl from the cover of The Stranger, because she's also in the show right here. So I think that I just remember parts of both of these shows and I merged them in my brain. Either way, they're going in the okay tier. Like, they weren't bad, but they were just like there to kill some time. And I obviously like only remember fragments from both, so I don't see how I could possibly put them any higher. Next up, let's do Clickbait. Now, this one was also good. There was like a nice little twist, but I don't know if I would like go and recommend it to other people, because it was just like very like mid. It was very mild, it was very neutral, so maybe the good tier or the okay. I'll put it in good. Yeah. Also, why the fuck did a main girl watch the video over and over? The instructions of the video clearly said that if it gets to a certain amount of views, they are killing the man, her brother, and she kept refreshing it. His own sister. Also, these aren't spoilers, by the way. This is like literally the first 15 minutes of the first episode. Let's do Haunting of Hill House / Haunting of Bly Manor next. Oof, I am gonna get hate for this one. Let me just start by saying that I'm putting both of these in the great tier, okay? I like the shows. Loved both of the shows. I really like the story, really like the characters, very much enjoyed watching them. It's just the fact that I didn't really watch them. Like, if I ask you to define what watching a show means, there would definitely be a debate whether this method that I use counts. So I heard these shows have jump scares in them, and I am a certified coward. I hate horror movies. I don't understand why you would go and willingly get scared, and in that, just think of your future. That's enough of a jump scare. When I need to go and catch a fucking bus, I get the nervous shits. Like, that's scary enough for me. All I gotta do is hop on and sit on the seat and I am scared. I really don't need a mirror reflection of a demon nun standing behind me to scare me. Basically, I just really wanted to watch the show, but I didn't want to get scared, so I just watched this show through reaction and commentary videos on YouTube. So I had your internet mom Ash as my main source of content, and then I just went and watched every other reaction and commentary video recommended to me in order to get the most scenes. So I watched the show through not watching it, but I think it counts because I know everything that happened. That's exactly how I watched 13 Reasons Why as well, because I had 14 reasons why I don't want to watch the show, but I still wanted to keep up with the trends. So I went and watched reaction videos on YouTube, and that's how I found pretty much it. And now I'm subscribed to their Patreon. Listen, I mostly watched the show because of Victoria Pedretti, because I love Victoria Pedretti. Also, is she dating Theo or not? What do we have about that couple? Also, why are they doing that man so dirty? He keeps playing teenagers and he's older than Victoria. What's up with that? Did you know that he was an actor too? I also watched After through pretty much it as well. Why does he keep playing teenagers? Just give the man an adult role for once. It's like the guy from Outer Banks, Madeline Klein's boyfriend, Chase Stokes. He's also playing a teenager. He's like 30 years old. Or maybe he's her ex. Did they break up? What's the update on that? Also, Madeline Klein was in Serbia. Did you know that? Do you know what that means? There is a possibility that both of our feet once touched the same pavement. It's probably not true because, I mean, she was in Belgrade. The only thing I saw from Belgrade was a hospital when I went to get my scoliosis surgery. I read a tweet once that said scoliosis surgery is a conversion camp for your spine, and the only thing I remember from that hospital is walking into the toilet and seeing the toilet seat pissed all over, literally. And I know exactly who did it. It was this woman, because I saw her walk out of the toilet. She knew exactly what she did. She was walking with such a confident walk. It was like, hey, have fun cleaning that up, you little bitch. You're a 15-year-old who had her whole back sliced open. You can't even take a shower on your own anymore. But no one wants to help you either. So you haven't taken a shower for like 15 days already. But I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I mean, there was probably a reason why she was in the hospital as well, but like, if I had a spinal surgery and was able to bend enough to clean her piss off that toilet seat, she could have done it herself too. To this day, I truly don't understand how she did it. Like, it's, I can't even comprehend. Like, you don't have anything to like hold and like aim with it. You just sit inside a hole and let it go in there. Anyways, the Haunting series is incredible. I would put it in the S tier if I was able to watch it, but because it had jump scares, it's going into the great tier. Okay, let's do Desperate Housewives next. Now I know what you're thinking. Girl boss, you did not watch Desperate Housewives in the year 2020. Well, my grandpa died. What a way to lighten up the mood. But it's true, I was mentally exhausted and I just needed a light show to get my mind off things. So I put Desperate Housewives on and I watched 3 seasons in one sitting. This show would get canceled during its very first season if it aired today. Every husband in this show is toxic, and instead of letting my mind off things, it actually just frustrated me because I was rooting for everyone to get a divorce and I knew that no one is getting a divorce. But I'm not gonna put it in the no tier. It definitely doesn't deserve the no. It's Desperate Housewives, come on, it's so bad that it's good. So maybe it's going good. No, it's, okay, let's put it here. Or, okay, I don't care. Then we have, where is it? Now I want to do 9 Perfect Strangers. F. It's an F tier. I'm sorry. I don't care. Listen, I don't care. I didn't like it. And I have the right to put it in the no tier. I did kind of like the finale. The actors were great too, but overall, I can't. Let's do this one. This is Perdida or Stolen Away. This one had a lot of twists. Honestly, it was just the show I watched. Nothing special. It didn't really change my life in any way. I just put it on, watched it, finished it, and it was gone. And I was just like, alright, so guess I finished that show too. I don't think it deserves an F, so maybe in the okay tier. Like, it does the job. I put it on to pass the time, and that's exactly the kind of effect it had on me. Elite season 4. This one was okay as well. Listen, I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of done with Elite by now. Like, the second a show has to introduce a completely new cast and like a new generation of the cast, the show is starting to go south. But honestly, like, even if this season ended up being like the best season out of all of them, I think I still would have hated it because it's a completely different cast. but I don't feel bad because it wasn't the best season out of all. I mean, it wasn't even in the top 3 out of 4 filmed seasons. I just miss Nadia and Lou, honestly. Next up, Biohackers. This is a German show that I found to satisfy my superiority complex and using the fact that I watch non-English shows as my defining personality trait. And honestly, not a bad show. Not a bad show at all, actually. Like, the plot is great. There's 2 seasons for now. I think they're filming a 3rd one as well, I think. And so far, so good, honestly. So far, so great, actually. Let's go with that. It's a really well-made show. I like the characters. I like the plot. It's very interesting. I don't want to, like, spoil anything, and I also don't have time to talk about, like, every single plot of all of these shows. It's something with, like, genetical engineering and modification. It's not a show that will, like, change your life, but it's also not just a background sound show. Does that make sense? Like, you can't play this show just to have some background noise while you're doing something so you're not alone with your thoughts, because you will find yourself just standing in front of your screen actively watching this show. So it's like interesting enough to have your full attention, you know? So because of that, it's going in great. Outer Banks season 2. John B, get your head out of the gutter and stop lying about how great the show is. I just feel like so much has happened and nothing has happened in this season. I don't know, like for example the scene where we're supposed to think that Sarah Cameron is dead. Come on, what is that? If you ask people to talk about me, they might tell you that I am a lot of things. For example, smart, funny, creative, beautiful, perfect, humble. There is one thing everyone will agree that I am not, and that is born yesterday. I wasn't born yesterday. So why are you treating me like I was? Outer Banks. Huh? Maybe it's because I watched this sped up, so I didn't even like have the time to react to most of the scenes, because by the time I registered what was on the screen, the scene was already over because it was sped up. But I can't change who I am. Season 1 was good. This one was okay, but I'm gonna put it in good, I think. I mean, I'm gonna watch season 3 because why not? But like if they just like stopped right here, I'd be fine with it. Young Royals. This one I think I liked. It was like a bit slow, but I honestly don't mind it because I really like the season finale. It's a great commentary on this pressure of status and privilege on especially young people. For example, the guy who plays the prince, I think his name was William in the show. Like, he didn't even have the option to be himself and an individual. He's just like a spokesperson for his family, basically, and their tradition and what they stand for, their values. I'm gonna put it in great, even though honestly for me it's a bit in between great and good, but I am scared of the backlash because I know that people really like this show, and I already dissed Luxembourg, so I don't want beef with Sweden as well. Into the Night. Oh my god, this was such a good show. Season 1 at least. If you haven't seen season 1 of Into the Night, what are you doing? You need to change that. So it's about this, like, they're in a plane and they are running away from the sun because if the sun rays touch them, they die. Oh my god, I watched season 1 like 5 times this year, and that happened in the span of like 2 days. I would just like play it, binge it, and then play it again. And I did that like 4 times. After that, actually I would binge the season, then I would make a break by watching a Lil Cinzy video. I had a huge Lil Cinzy phase this year, and then I would go back and watch the whole season of Into the Night again. And that was my routine for like a week. And then season 2 aired, and I don't know what to tell you anymore. Like, it was alright. It wasn't bad, but it was just, that's all it was. Literally every show I watched this year was just alright. Honestly, this is a bit of a dumb tier list. Everything should be put in the okay tier except for Fleabag, honestly. No, I am putting this in great because season 1 was amazing and season 2 was good, I guess. Like, I finished season 2 and I had to watch season 1 to rinse my eyes. This year I watched all 3 seasons of Sex Education because I never watched it until now, and honestly I really like it. There's really nothing bad I can say about this show. Like, everything is good. The whole concept of it, the characters, the actors, the plot, Otis's mom is definitely going in the S tier or the yes tier. I don't have anything else to say, honestly. Everything is good. Adam, love you babes. Jackson, I am you babes. Maeve and Otis though, as a couple, they can stop with that, in my opinion. Then I watched You. I loved it. I loved it. So what if he's a devil? Rick, at least the devil has a job. The dialogue itself is an S tier. Everything was perfect. The ending was horrible though. I wanted it to be the other way around, but it's okay. I will cherish the moments we got and I can always rewatch it. This is just another type of show that is made for me. Like, it's gory, but it's through the funny lens, kinda, you know? It's everything I'm looking for in a show, honestly. Amazing. I could watch this day and night. Then I watched all 3 seasons of Lock and Key, and I just have one question. Why are all of the actors 40-year-olds playing teenagers? There's like a 29-year-old playing a 17-year-old girl who is celebrating her 18th birthday, and she has a boyfriend that is 17 years old but is actually like 26, 7 in real life. And that guy has a younger sister who is dating in the show, is dating a guy from her high school class who is actually in real life older than her older brother, who is 17 in the show. And somehow they all look the ages they were given in the show. I don't know, like the show was all right. I didn't like hate it, and it kept my attention more than some other shows I watched. So maybe like in the good tier because of that, but honestly, like I don't really care about it, to be honest. Then we have Bridgerton. Now this is the reason I made the 2020 tier. I know it was winter when I watched this, but I don't remember if it was December 2020 winter or January 2021 winter. Regardless, not my favorite. It's just boring, okay? I'm sorry. And Daphne's literally a rapist. Like I don't. Then The Umbrella Academy. Now this is another show that I don't remember when exactly I watched, so it's going in the 2020 tier as well. Although, to be fair, I think I watched it last year because I remember I was cutting my hair while I was watching it, but in that vision that I have, I'm not holding the hair cutting scissors that I now have, but I'm holding these little nail scissors that I first used to cut my hair. But I watched it again with my mom this year, so it still counts. But like, this is a great show. I really like it. I can't wait for the next season. Love everything. Love the plot, love the characters, love the quirkiness. I love Klaus, obviously. Misfits. Wait, I watched Misfits this year as well. I forgot to put them on the list. Wait, oh, now I remember. Okay, I was right. I did watch the show last year by myself, and then I watched the show again this year with my mom, and then we both wanted to see more Klaus, so we watched Misfits. But I forgot to put it in this list. I'm gonna be honest, Misfits, not the best show to watch with your mom. I wasn't aware of the nature of the humor in that show before playing it, but like ranking wise, like the first 2 seasons, or however many seasons Robert Sheehan was in, definitely the S tier. It was amazing. It was funny. It was perfect. It was everything you'd want. And then he left us. And honestly, I haven't even watched the very final season. I remember I played the first episode and I was just like, okay, I am done with this. I can't do this anymore. So this is the list for now. Now, I want to add another tier called Just Started because I have these 5 shows that I just started but I haven't finished yet. Obviously, I started this month and I watched like 2 or 3 episodes so far. So here we have Vis-a-Vis, Community, Peaky Blinders, and Mr. Robot, and Breaking Bad as well. I know that you don't have to tell me anything. I've never seen Breaking Bad or any of these like classic shows. I don't even have a reason why I never watched them. I just didn't. But I'm doing it now. So those are all of the shows that I could remember that I watched this year. But plot twist, I'm gonna add one more tier just because I can, just to like assert my dominance. I have a handful of comfort movies I can watch literally whenever, and this year wasn't the first year that I've seen them. This was more just another year that I've seen them while I'm getting ready. Like I'm either doing my makeup or I'm cooking or I'm cutting my hair, and I need something to play in the background because I can't do anything in silence. But I can't find any video or any podcast that like scratches my brain in all the right places. I just play one of these. Now most of these are self-explanatory, you'll see. So we have The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. We have Catch Me If You Can. Like, such a good movie. Horrible Bosses, another classic. The first part is better. Gone Girl, Girl Boss Manifesto, Knives Out. I watch Knives Out once a month, and then for a full week after watching it, all I can watch are YouTube reviews on the movie, and those 2 videos, everything wrong and everything great about Knives Out, because it's such a good movie that I need time to like gradually get back in the zone of watching regular movies, because anything that I play after Knives Out just doesn't feel good enough, because I know that there's something better out there. Something better being Knives Out, obviously. Middleditch and Schwartz next. This is the funniest piece of media ever produced, and I stand by what I said. Also, the Trevor Noah Netflix specials, a masterpiece. But Middleditch and Schwartz, this is the reason why I am grateful for understanding English, because I wouldn't be able to watch it if I didn't understand English. Literally. I didn't even tell you what this is. This is an improv show. My favorite is the wedding episode. It's the first one available. It is so fun. How can people be this funny? I will never understand that. How do people come up with jokes? How does that work? Lastly, No Reservations by Anthony Bourdain. This man is my biggest inspiration. Just the fact that someone was so open-minded, so charismatic, so respectful, generous, funny, entertaining. Knowing that someone like him once walked on this earth brings me back some faith in humanity. Honestly, I can watch the show any day. Oh, I also watched Emily in Paris season 2 this morning actually, and I just want to know, why did I do that? Like, the French characters are talking in French when they're talking to each other. That's something I noticed. That's an improvement from season 1. It's not enough to like make it a good show, but it's an improvement. Okay, that's it. I can't look at this list for any longer because I will change my mind and rearrange everything. So, happy Vlogmas.